I'm Lulu, and welcome to my channel. I am going to do a complete van tour today of my camper van that I just recently built out. I'm going to tell you the story about this van. So I built out a minivan. I was traveling in a minivan for a few years. I just bought an old minivan and did a really wonderful build. It was a great rig. Um, uh, but it was 18 years old and it had a lot of rust, and it was time to retire that van. So just this past January, so January of 2023, I was in the market for a van. Not easy to find a van. Not easy. If you're out there looking for a van, I sympathize. So I called different dealerships. Nobody had any vans. I called this huge dealership in my city, and I asked them if they had any vans, and they said no vans. They said we won't have any vans for the rest of the year. And I said, but it's January. The whole rest of the year you're not going to have any vans? Yep, no vans. So I was like, I didn't know how lucky I was going to get. I found one dealership and they said, we have a 2016 Promaster City. So I went and looked at it. I brought it to my mechanic to have him fully check it over, just to make sure I wasn't buying anything with any problems. So that's worth the money. It's always worth the money to do that when you're buying a vehicle. Just have a mechanic that you trust, check it out. I think it was like $125, best $125 that you can spend, because I just wanted to know. And he said, it looks really good. It looks really good. So, and he's not wild about dealerships, so I think he really wanted to find something. He wanted to find something, but he didn't find it. So I looked at the book value on Kelley Blue Book online, and what I found was that it was worth somewhere between $14,000 and $17,000. So I thought, why are they asking $27,000 for it if it's only worth somewhere between 14 and 17? So I went back and I said, so what's the story here with the price? It's worth 14 to 17,000 on the Kelley Blue Book online, and you're selling it for 27? Yep, that's right. He said, no negotiations. He said, I said, but why? Why are you doing that? And he said, it's supply and demand. There's a huge demand and there's no supply. So my choice was to either buy it or say, the heck with you, and then go and maybe perhaps have the same experience somewhere else. So I bought it. $27,000, 2016 ProMaster City, excellent condition, 83,000 miles on it when I bought it. So the first thing I'll tell you about is the insulation that I decided to do. I was really torn whether to do insulation or not, because I didn't want to take up any space. I have 28 square feet in here. I have, as far as in comparison to the minivan build, the minivan build had more floor space. This is 4 feet by 7 feet. The minivan was 4 feet by 8 feet. So I had an extra foot. But I have so much more headspace, and I have more cubic feet in this van than I did in the minivan. So this feels like more space, even though I have less floor space. So I really didn't want to insulate. I just didn't want to insulate because I didn't want to take up any space. So I went with an insulation that was only a ½ an inch thick. Perhaps it's not doing a whole lot. I haven't quite been in extreme temperatures yet to really know. So that's to be determined. But what I did was I used Weatherall Polar Wrap. It's the stuff that they use to wrap houses under vinyl siding. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is what it is. It's called Polar House Wrap Weatherall. And it comes like this. It comes like this. It's just one long continuous piece. It's foil on one side, kind of like the styrofoam on the other side. It just cuts. It cuts so easy. Cuts very easy with just a utility knife. So I made templates for this area and this area, and I just traced it, cut it out, spray glue, sprayed it on. So I made those insulation pieces right here and here, on this wall right here, on this wall right here, and on both sliding doors. And there's a piece up here, and there's a piece here, and there's a piece here, and then the whole floor is covered with it underneath the plywood. So that's what I did for that. So now you have all this metal channels, all these channels that are hollow and empty, tons of holes everywhere, little holes. So what we did for that was, in the smaller areas, we used the spray foam. In the larger areas, we used the pink insulation. We just stuffed it in, stuffed it in, stuffed it in, stuffed it in. All of those holes are covered with white duct tape. So if you look closely, you can see I have strips of white duct tape. I have duct tape right here. I have duct tape right here, right here. All pieces of what I did was to try to distract the eye from all the white duct tape, is I just put all these white applique flowers around to just kind of mix it up. Over here, the same thing. There's the white duct tape. So I just spray foam or pink insulation stuffed in, duct tape over it. White Gorilla tape. So for me, I wanted to use like the thickest, strongest tape. I have been in very warm weather on my first maiden voyage in this camper van, and there was some couple of days of 90s that were unexpected, and the duct tape is just fine. Also, this door right here and this door right here, in here, this black, and those two doors, and these two doors, pop the plastic right off. Those things are stuffed with the pink insulation. Those days that were 90, it was very manageable in the van, but at night the nights kind of cooled off a bit. It was warm in the van, but it wasn't hotter than outside in the van. For now, it's working out really well. Another thing in the Promaster City is, at the very end of this this cargo bed, right here, there's this big long black box that extends the floor, but it's removable, and I don't know what it's for. If I reached in and put my hand under it, there was like an opening in it, and I could stuff a couple of things in there. It was like maybe 10 inches wide, and the whole length of that. And I was like, I want that storage. And I saw somebody on YouTube that had ripped it out. It wasn't easy because it's bolted, it's welded. It was, let's just say that I decided I wanted it taken out, and I brought it to my mechanic, and he had a heck of a time, but he did it. He took it out. I had all that open space. So what I did was I put some of that same polar wrap insulation down there. I lined the whole thing with Reflectix just to make it all nice and neat. And I have all that storage under there. And that's for things that I really hardly ever need, but I want. The way I get to it is I just pull the seat forward, and I can see down in there that I have, this is the power block for the Blue Eddy. I keep down there in case I'm ever with shore power. I have a battery charger, so it's all charged up. I should be, if my battery died, my car battery dies, I should be able to charge it up with this. So that's way under there. Also, this came with the car because it didn't come with, I don't have a spare tire. So it came with this whole compression kit that I've yet to learn how to use. But I'm counting on AAA. All of this stuff fits on one side of that empty box. So I'm grateful that I don't have to find a spot in my conveniently accessible areas for this kind of stuff. I can just put it away, and then it's not convenient to get to it, but it doesn't matter because I'll likely not even need it. There's a teeny bit more room under there if I wanted something else in there, but there's nothing. I could just jam something in there, but I don't have anything. Also, you can see that I have a lot of space underneath the driver's seat. There's a lot of storage. I haven't even taken advantage of all of it, but I have my atlas. I have a couple of other books. I also have a 30-foot extension cord for if I ever need to plug into shore power. That's where I keep my extension cord. So that can even fit more things. The other YouTube channel that I saw, that they removed that whole big black box to have that well available, they were going to put their battery bank in there. So I guess if I ever wanted to have a battery bank instead of this portable station, I would have that space, you know. But for right now, I'm going to stick with my Bluetti, and I'm going to just use all that for storage. On the other side of this van, underneath where this black box was, I keep leveling blocks, and I keep a lot of extra cans of butane, because butane is not always easy to find. So I always keep a big supply of that on. So all of that is under that space. I'm very grateful for that space. So right on the door here, I keep what I call my junk drawer. This is my junk drawer. So basically what it is it's a sewing kit, it's batteries, carabiner hooks, and my incense. I have a lint roller, I have a lighter, I have hand warmers, I have eyeglass cleaner. Yeah, that's about it. So that's my junk drawer. So I just found that on the door here, you know, when you have a tiny, tiny van like this, you take advantage of every space you got. And right here, I found the space for this, and there's my junk drawer. So as you can see, I had my passenger seat removed. It was a little touch and go there. I wasn't sure I was going to find somebody to take it out. People were turning me down. I was calling mechanics. I was calling auto body places. I was calling so many places, and everybody, they didn't want to do it because of the airbags and liability and all that stuff. I finally found somebody that could do it, and it was somebody from a van build company. So he very confidently took it out. He rewired everything, all the wires that come from airbags and seatbelts and everything. Everything was all joined together. He cut the sensors out of the seat, out of the bottom cushion of the seat. He took everything together, and everything is assembled and put back together as if it's like to trick the car into thinking that there's still a seat there. So I have no airbag light, which means I still will be able to get an inspection sticker, and all my airbags are functional, the ones that I need. So I knew I wanted this passenger seat guard because I wanted the bed here. The bed was taking up way too much room in the back. You can see I have another video on my channel of a build that I did when I first got it. It was just a temporary build because I got it, I wanted to get on the road, and I didn't want to make the time to do everything I've done in this build. So I just slapped together a build. It was pretty gosh darn good. Off I went to Florida for the winter, got back in April, and then April and May I worked on this. So on the first road trip I went on, I did have the seat, and it was tight. Things were tight. I knew I wanted the bed here. I wanted the bed here. So that's what I did. We built this bed. I had a friend help me. We made this bed out of, we found some pallets on the side of the road, and we cut them up, and we made this bed frame. And then the top of the bed, we just put this lattice, just from Lowe's. We got this lattice. That works out really well because it's nice and sturdy, and it has airflow. So that's a really good thing too. The last thing I wanted was a black comforter. I wanted something really pretty and colorful and lovely. But you know something? When I close my door, if you look in, it hardly looks like there's a bed there. It looks, because I said my comforter needs to be the same color as the interior. so it just blends in, which is what I feel it does. So it makes me feel better about having a bed just below the window and not having like this pretty, colorful comforter. I'm just sticking with the black. So under the bed here, I keep this boot tray. I like to bring a boot tray with me. And I'll tell you why, because, well, first of all, not most of all, but first of all, it just fits right in there nicely. It kind of hides all the clutter of the storage I have. And also it's really a wonderful thing for me to fill up with things if I'm at a campground and I want to bring things to a picnic table. Sometimes those picnic tables are a little yucky. So I put all my food and my dishes and my utensils and everything on here. I bring this out to the table, and then I keep everything, all the food and everything on this instead of the table. So that's what I take this for. Now under here is where I store a lot of things. I can't access this from inside, obviously, but it's okay, because this is just stuff that I know I can't access from inside. Things that I want access to are inside, over there. So this is just like an insulated lunchbox that I keep some extra supplements, because the supplements that I take I keep in there, but these are my extras, and the insulation keeps them a little better. And this is where I keep all my clothes. Now I keep a 4-day supply of clothes in this area, very convenient and handy. So 4 days at a time, and then after 4 days, I replenish with outfits. So this is all, I just do all packing cubes. There's dresses, there's pants, there's shorts, there's tops, there's undergarments, right? Just all filled with clothes. I can fit so many clothes in here, okay? Another thing under here, this is my chair. This is an awesome chair. It's called Helinox, and it's called the Sunset Chair. Helinox, the Sunset Chair. Um, it's tiny. I wanted it to be tiny, but I know a lot of tiny ones can be uncomfortable. And I said, if I'm going to get a tiny one and I'm going to use it all the time and have it everywhere I go, I'm going to get myself a good one. This one was not cheap. It was probably about $150. Worth every cent. Very high quality, tiny, tiny. And then this is my shower bag. So this has my towel, my shampoo, my flip-flops for inside the shower. I do it at Planet Fitness. When I'm traveling, I'm at Planet Fitness taking showers. And this is my shower bag. And then right here is my tool bag. I always travel with my tools. There's just a little bit of everything in here, so I should be able to take care of anything that I might need on the road or other people. So far, I've just been using it for other people, helping other people that need something. And then right on my door here, on the same pocket as the other side, this door is where I keep my jigsaw. I used this on the beach once to help my friend Carol cut something in her van. Oh, that was a funny day. So I like to take my jigsaw, and I like to take my, my power drill, all my drill bits, a tape measure, miscellaneous tools in there. And then I have my WeatherTec window coverings. 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 windows, which reminds me, is I had a rear camera installed. So it's not a backup camera. It doesn't just come on when I have it in reverse. It's on all the time. So it's nice to be able to see behind me. I had never driven a vehicle with no windows before. Although I traveled in it for a while before I got the rear camera. And I just got used to the mirrors. Eventually I got used to it and I could see everything I needed to see. But I decided to get the rear camera. So these 3 windows, I use these. One side is silver if I want to reflect the sun. The other side is black if I want to black out. The other side is black. So I have my option. I can black out, or I can reflect the sun. I used to keep them in here because my idea was that they were going to go on every night when I was parked at Cracker Barrel, or I was parked at a truck stop and I was parked, sleeping here, sleeping there. And I decided I don't even need to. I don't even do it. I'm stealth enough. It's all black. Over here, when this is closed, you know, I'm completely covered except for my feet, which are covered with a black blanket. And I don't feel the need to block it up, but I do want to take them with me because I might be in a situation that I want to completely black out and have privacy. So they're for me. And then I take this little mat. This is a mat that I can put out on the beach, put out at the door here at a campground or whatever, but it's just the straw mat. And then over here in the front, shoved under there, is my sleeping bag. If this comforter is not enough, and I'm like, I wish I had more blankets, that's where my sleeping bag is. It's a 30-degree blanket. So as you can see, I just lined this whole bottom here with Reflectix just to make it clean and neat. There were a couple of wires those wires that were all taped up and everything. They were all just kind of tucked in there. The wires from the passenger seat removal. So that's all covered. And yeah, we just made this bed out of pallet wood. Over here, this top part of it is about 3 inches wider than the bottom part of it. We made the bed in 2 pieces. So this one, it had to be a little bit more narrow down here, so I would have room for the shift. And but it works out perfect because it's just my legs that are down there, so it's a little bit more narrow. I'm going to say this is like 26 inches wide. I think the bed is maybe 26. So so as you can see, all this stuff just goes back very nicely. There's the shower bag. The tools go right in here. And then all the clothes go right here. All these clothes. And then this goes right here. This goes right here. The chair goes right here. And as you can see, if I really wanted to stuff this, I have a ton more space. But I don't need it. I don't need it. It just seems to be everything I need. Now right here is where I keep my little outdoor table, which is just adorable. A lot of people ask me where I got it because they want one like it, but I got it at a thrift store, so I don't know where you get it. But that just slides right in there. So this right here is my fridge freezer, and I'll show you that when we get inside. But right here, I have 2 bins of food. These 2 bins of food. So this is my pantry right here. So one of them I can access from inside, and one of them I can't. This is the stuff that I want access to when I'm in there. So I put that one in first. And then as things go low in that, I'll replenish from this, put some of those out front. And that's an awesome pantry. Awesome pantry. I have some space right in here where the wheel well is. My little kitchen is against it. It's not built into it. It's just against it. So I have all this space. And what I have behind here, I can put things behind here. These are screens that I made for these 2 windows. I just made them. I just bought some screen from Lowe's, and I sewed a little kind of a sleeve here. And I just put this, like that. And then I cut this opening right here to go around the mirror. And I have magnets. I put a magnet here. I put one here, 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 here. Right in here, I put a couple of magnets too. I had discovered that there was room for just little magnets, little circle magnets. And then you just shut it, and the magnets keep it down. Works great. Now, I wouldn't put this up in a Cracker Barrel parking lot or at a truck stop, but at a campground. Or my last trip, I went to Iowa to visit my daughter, and I was in her parking lot in her apartment building, and I felt very comfortable there to put these on the windows and keep them there for the whole time I was there. And another thing I keep back here is a little thing that has an extra sheet for the bed and extra pillowcases. So typically I'm going to just do laundry and use the same ones, but if there's ever an emergency and there's a spill or something, I have an extra sheet and I have an extra pillowcases, and that just gets shoved back here just beautifully. And my screens go right in here beautifully. And this table goes right here beautifully. And it's lovely because I put it in this way so that there's still the ventilation for the freezer. So for the bed, I bought a 4-inch piece of foam from Amazon, and it was just called upholstery foam, and it was like $59. And I said, I'm just going to try it, and if it doesn't work out, then I'll get something different or better or whatever. I just knew I only wanted 4 inches because I wanted the headspace. So it's working out great. I custom cut it so it's wider at the top than at the bottom. And I made a cover for it, like a permanent cover for it. And then I made custom sheets for it. The way that I find the easiest way to make custom sheets is to make the opening on the side. So mine open like this. I make ties like this, and they just all open like this. There's the cover that I made for the permanent cover for the mattress, because I didn't want the foam just exposed like that. So I just made like this big pocket, the shape of the mattress after I custom cut it, and then I just made a whole line of little ties like that. And it works out really good for me, because I find that like trying to make a custom one with the elastic on the edges to be a fitted sheet never worked out for me. So that's that. So another thing I did for the bed was I made a headboard, and I went to Lowe's and I bought a trellis in their garden department. It's a nice thick, it's a heavy trellis. It's not a flimsy one. And we just stuck it up here with these little loopy things. And it's absolutely perfect, because I didn't want to chop the whole place in half with a piece of wood, but I also need to, I like to sit up in here, because this is my only place to lounge. So this is my bed to sleep in. It's also my sofa, and it's also where I sit to eat. And right here, I made this little shelf so that, like, when I'm eating, I'm usually making a salad in a bowl like this. So I come over here and make my salad. I put it on this little shelf that I made, and then I just get myself in the bed like this, and then like this. And then this headboard helps me to sit up like this comfortably. I have plenty of headspace. I have a Maxxia fan right here next to me. I have this fan right here next to me. I can just turn this fan on. It's a Polar fan. It's a USB charge fan, and I tell you, this thing is on low. It's powerful. I have it clipped onto the little handle that's up there over the door. And I can put it right in my face when I'm sleeping. I can put it right in my face when I'm eating. And then this is where I eat, like this. I'll just eat like this. I'll put my water right here. And then I just knew I just didn't have a place to put my food down. So that's why I made this little shelf. And that's the bed. And it's extremely comfortable. It's so comfortable. It's so comfy. It turns out that upholstery foam, 4 inches wide, $60, is very comfortable if you like a firm mattress. So that's my bed. And I haven't used this yet at the beach, but I imagine having the sliding door open and having the beach right here. That's what I'm imagining. Coming soon to Lulu's life. Right by the water's edge, right here, with that door shut, this one open, just like this. So over here is where I knew I was going to put my Bluetti. I have a Blue Yeti AC 200P. It's 2,000 watts. It's been very good to me. I had this in my minivan as well. So I knew this had to be here. There was no place else to put it. It's kind of big. So I just built around it. I thought I'm just going to use this space up here. So I wanted this space right in here to be available because there is wireless charging on top of here. So I wanted to be able to stick my phone there if I wanted to. And so I built this table. I just cut a piece of wood. I cut 4 legs and I put them together and painted it this color. And then I just stuck it on there. I custom made this just for this spot. Okay. Then I was at a thrift store and I found this medicine cabinet. And I thought, oh, I could put this medicine cabinet here because it's not very deep. I was looking for cabinetry that's not deep, not easy to find. So I put it here and it was too tall. It was too tall. It wouldn't fit because of this right here. So I turned it on its side and here it is. Here it is. So I think eventually I would like to put shelves in here maybe and make better use of it because this is the shelf, the one shelf, but it's the wrong way. But I just stuck this up here and this is where I put all my charging cables. And then right here I just had this little thing that holds my pens and my toothpicks and stuff, and I just stuck that there, and I just use it to keep my books and my Bluetooth. And this is I take this out if there's that one little bug that's inside when you're trying to sleep and they're buzzing in your ear. Yeah, I don't like that. This thing works really well for a little thing. I don't think it would take care of a ton of bugs, but you turn that thing on and that little bug is no longer in your ear. So that's really important. So anyway, so this is just a piece of artwork that I had that I just stuck up there just to decorate it a bit. I found this little thing at a thrift store too, and I just stuck her on the side there. And then I put my little food shelf up here, so I have a place to put my food when I'm sitting there. And then I just bolted this little thing down to have cleaning and paper towels up there. Handy. I like to have them near the door. And I have this Max Air fan that I had installed. That's wonderful. That is wonderful to have for the ventilation and the air. Works out good. So for the floor, I have that Weatherall Polar house wrap that I use for the insulation. I covered the whole floor with it. And then I put a 3/4 inch plywood, 7 feet long. I cut it to 7 feet, so it's 4 by 7. And then I got, I always wanted a black and white check floor. Always wanted a black and white check floor in my life. So I found these 12 inch by 12 inch peel and stick vinyl tiles, and I just installed them all on that piece of wood. And there was my floor. And I love it. This is my kitchen. I have lights up here. I have one here. And I have one here. And these are magnetic. They come off and they're USB charged. So as soon as they start to get low, I just take them off the ceiling here and charge them. And they give me just enough light. This one, I wanted one over the bed, one over this kitchen, and one over this. So how did this kitchen come together? Holy smokes. Well, this right here was a cubby. It was an 8 cubby system that we found on the side of the road. Scooped it up. It was too long. So we just cut 2 cubbies off. Now we got 3 cubbies. And this was kind of a mess, so I just painted it. From cutting it off, it was just kind of a mess because it's just particle board. So that was that. And then I went out and got these bins right here that hold all my things. I decided just for a little bit more storage was I put these 2x4s on either end of this, and then a piece of plywood. This is a 1/2 inch plywood. I whitewashed it, and then 3 coats of poly, sand in between. And it seems to be holding up very well, washing very well. So I had this old coffee table once, and it had a shelf under the coffee table that had these two drawers that came out. They weren't on any slides. They were just sitting in there, and they would just come out. You could put magazines or whatever. So I had to get rid of the coffee table because the top of it got trashed. But I saved the drawers. For some reason, I saved those drawers, and that's what these are right here. They were in my garage for I don't know how long. They didn't have hardware on them. I put the hardware on them. So in this one right here, I just keep all my, I keep all my utensils for cooking. I have a food scale because I like to weigh my food. I have a cutting board, my pot holder. So that's what I keep in that one. And then this one right here is where I keep all my supplements. So I take all these supplements every day. So I need these to be very, very handy because I'm in and out of this drawer all day long. So I put that right there. So look at how so now I have the same counter space, but I've just given myself I just needed to grab those 3 or 4 inches, and now I have all that storage, which is amazing. And here I keep all my cleaning stuff, laundry detergent and face cloths and napkins and all kinds of things to clean. And this one here is I keep my trash barrel. That's where I have my trash. Right over here is dishes, pot. I have a pan and my plate and my salad bowl goes in there too. And then right here is my pressure cooker. That's how I cook on the road. I love a pressure cooker, and my Bluetti can handle it. And then over here, I keep my. This is where I make my tea. I have my tea kettle right here. Now what I did was I got an extension cord and I plugged it into the Bluetti. Right there, it's plugged into the Bluetti. It goes under the bed. I have it tacked up onto the bed frame, going under the bed, all the way behind here. It comes behind in, and it comes in here. This is it right here. This is the extension cord. So that's how I get power over here at my kitchen. So I just keep the kettle plugged in because it's just this is plugged in right here. And then in the morning, I just put that here, and then I get out my kettle, and then make my tea. That's what I do. Also in here, I keep my fire extinguisher right next to the kitchen. And then in here is where I keep, when I was showing you my clothes out there underneath the bed, I keep a 4-day supply of clothes right in here. So I use these reusable shopping bags. I use these for dirty laundry. So I have 2 of these that are empty. And in here, in this cubby, I have 4 outfits. And as those get lower, I fill these with dirty clothes. I tie it, and then I just stick it right in here. So it's always going to take up the same amount of space. So at one point, I have no clothes in one of these that are stuffed with dirty laundry and no clean clothes. Then what I do is I take out the dirty laundry and I fill it up with 4 more outfits by going out to my clothes supply out in the front. And then I replenish that. And then what I do is I stuff them right in here. This is where I keep dirty laundry, right in here. So this is a cabinet that we built out of pallets that we found on the side of the road, and whitewashed them, and put this together. Love it. It just hides the wheel well. Now, it looks like I have a lot of storage, and I don't. This is mostly the wheel well. It's like 3/4 the wheel well and some storage. So in here is where I can stuff bags of dirty laundry, and they can even go up high, up under here too. I can stuff like 3 bags of laundry up here. I can stuff 1 on top of the wheel well. So that's a great place where I can stuff all my dirty laundry. And over on this side is where I keep my shoes and slippers. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 pairs of shoes over here, and that's what I keep on that side. So I needed a place to hang my jacket and I like to hang my pajamas, and So what I did was on this side of this cabinet, the bottom of this trellis that we cut off to fit it here as a headboard, I had a little piece of that left, and that's what this is. We just attached it here. I put some S hooks here, and I can hang my jackets right here. Over here, I went to a thrift store one day and I found these. These are CD towers. CD towers. Like you stand them up and you open up the little door and you have put all your CDs in there. $7 each. They were a mess. They're solid wood. They're solid wood, but they were a mess. So I cleaned them all up and painted them. And these are my kitchen cabinets. There we go. There's my kitchen cabinets. So I just keep some food. It holds a package of wipes, perfect size. There's my spices, my tea and stuff. Here's some sweet potatoes. There's some supplements. There's all my toothbrushing stuff, more supplements. And then right in this little slot right here, I found a place for my oils. So this is like my coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil. And what I really find amazing is I used to bungee all this stuff down. I used to bungee here, a bungee across here, and I would bungee this in front of this so that these wouldn't come out. And then I realized one day, nothing moves. I've traveled thousands of miles in this, thousands of miles. I don't drive fast. I don't take corners fast. Nothing moves. If these drawers move, they come up, they go like that. If this moves, it goes like this. Nothing moves. I don't have to bungee anything. Nothing. It could be because it's all facing this way. I mean, if it was facing this way and every time I stopped and started, things would probably come out, but I don't have to bungee anything. Nothing moves. And over here is where I have my water filtering system. So I love the Berkey. That's my favorite. And so what I do is I have it right here, and I always have fresh, clean water right here. So right behind here is I have these bags. They're called platypus bags, and I just fill them up with water. I have 3 of them, and right here behind this space behind the wheel well, it comes in handy, is I keep these 3 bags of water. So right now this is full. This is all filled with clean water. When this starts to run a little bit slow, I know that it's getting low. I'll just empty one of these in the top, and then, within an hour, it's all filtered down there. And then as soon as I start to get low, I can fill these anywhere. I can fill these if I'm at someone's house, anywhere I can find a spigot. Sometimes like at a dog park, they have water for the dogs. I just go fill up my things. I can get water anywhere because it goes through the Berkey, and I'm very confident that it's clean. It works for me. These decorative things that I put up, so in the back, I did the zebra. Over here, I did the greeneries. Over there, I did a different pattern. And on the ceiling, I did blue paisley. I'll tell you how I did those. Those are pieces of corrugated plastic. I went to Lowe's and I bought a 4x8 foot sheet, like the size of a piece of plywood, of corrugated plastic. I made the templates and I cut them, and then I spray glued the fabric of my choice on each one, and then I just stuck them up with the industrial strength Velcro and some double-sided sticky stuff. I love it. I love, right now, I don't need to use this space for storage. I really don't want to, but if I need to, I can. I have these 2 black nets, and very, very, very easily, I could put these right here with heavy, heavy duty magnets right there, and they wouldn't even look all that bad. I have 2 of them. Put one right here too, just like that, and I could use that to put things in. But I don't need a place for anything. I just don't need it. So I'm going to keep everything as clear as I can. Even right up here, I was going to put some shelves and stuff. But you know something? You need room for space. You need room for space. I was like, I don't want anything infringing on my headspace. So this was the only wall that I was going to put something on. Everything else I'm trying to avoid putting anything on the walls. So to keep clean on the road, I go to Planet Fitness, and I seem to always find one. I make it a destination in my travels as I travel around. And I go in, have my showers. For the bathroom, I have this is my little pee station. So this is my pee bottle, and I have a Shiwi, which is a female urinary device. It works perfect for me. This is half alcohol and half water, and I just use it, and then I just spray everything and sanitize, and then I just put it in, and then when it's full, I empty it, and it works perfect for me. For solids, I always find a bathroom. There's bathrooms everywhere. When I'm living in this van for long periods of time, an emergency could arise. So I need to be prepared for that. So instead of having a separate bucket for that, my trash barrel is ready to be converted into that when it's necessary. So this is my trash barrel, and I have right here is all my little bags for liners for trash, right? But if I need to use this as a toilet, and I'm telling you, it's in the past 5 years that I have been traveling in a van, I'm going to say I can remember probably 3 times. So it's only 3 times, but you need it. You need the backup. So basically, this is what I use. So what I do is, this is my liner for trash. So now at the bottom of this is where I keep these bags to line it, to use it for a toilet. And I also have this right here, which is more bags, some kitty litter, and a little scooper. So once I line it, like just say this is one of those purple bags, I go like this. Then I keep these right here. I keep this. This is just a couple of pieces of pool noodle that I cut in half the long way. And all I do is go like this, just to provide a little bit of cushion to sit on. I don't need a circle. It doesn't need to be a circle. It doesn't need to be attached. It's no big deal. It takes a couple of minutes. It's over. Put it in the trash. Probably never going to happen again. I can't remember the last time I sat on this, but I have to have it. So what I do is I just keep it right in here. It's my trash barrel. I put these over here on the edges like that. And here's my bags going right in here on this side. And then it all goes right in here. Easy breezy. So now I'm going to talk about my food storage. So what I do is my food takes up a lot of space. I eat very, very healthy. I eat a ton of produce, and I eat things that take up a lot of space. Greens take up a lot of space. Fresh food takes up a lot of space. There just doesn't seem to be a 12-volt refrigerator big enough for me. Oh, they're big, but inside they're so small, and they're just all of them are too small for me. So what I did was I decided that I wanted to use a cooler. So here's my cooler, 120 quarts, 120 quart cooler, okay? And it's my bench. Clearly, it's my bench. So I sit on it, and it holds tons of food. But now ice. Now I got to get ice. I was traveling and getting ice. But then I had an idea. What I have is I have a tiny 9-quart, 12-volt fridge freezer, and I make ice with it so I can keep this iced up. And I'm going to show you how I do that. Right here, I need to do this about once every 24 hours. So usually at night before I go to bed, I'm like, I think I'll switch my ice out. So I just slide this out from under there. I made this insulating cover to put over this, and I have this cut out because these are the vents. They need to vent, and I just put some pretty fabric over it. So I just take the insulating cover off. I open this up, and here are six of these. 6 of these fit perfectly in this 9-quart freezer. I have it set on 3 degrees, so they freeze. They're already frozen solid. Close her up. So what I would do is I would take the ones that are in here, because I have 6 in here. I have 6 in here. So by the end of the day, those 6 they're still chilly. They're still chilly, but they need to be swapped out. So I just take those out, put those in here, put these in here, go like this, and throw this under the bed like that. So what I did was, to make this even more efficient, I used this thick bubble wrap. It's extra thick Reflectix. So I made a piece for the top right here, and I just stuck it right on there with double-sided tape. I made an extra piece for here because as the food gets smaller, I push this down to conform with the food. And also, this whole thing is lined with the same Reflectix. Plus, I have one of those plastic contractor bags I lined it with too. So this is filled with food. Everything, I could feel the cold coming up. And there's 6 of these in here, keeping everything cold. As the food starts to get smaller, I just put this here and I push it down. Sometimes that's halfway down, but it keeps the cold better. And then, like I said, 24 hours, it's ready to be changed. And it's still cool. It's not like they're warm. Everything stays nice and cold. So that system really serves me well. Right here, this little space that I found right between the bed and the cubby is my stove. So that's my butane stove. I cook with butane. And this is my wind guard that goes right around. So if I'm cooking right here, I'm going to put that right there around my stove. Just splatters just feels better to have it closed in. Or if I'm cooking outside, it's good for the wind. So that fits right in there. So I have 200 watts of solar on the roof. That's new. I had always used portable solar panels. In all my travels, I used portable solar panels. I've been really appreciating having them up here. The portable ones I had were 400 watts. These are 200 watts. So I am adjusting to having less. But I'm figuring it out as I go along, and with my usage and how much I draw in. And so I'm just, it's a new learning experience for me. So, but I'm keeping topped up and it's working really well. That little freezer, when that's on freezer, it draws, when it's running, it draws about 35 watts. It goes on and off, but when it is on, it's drawing about 35 watts, which isn't so bad, and I have very large capacity. Another thing I keep here are these little pieces of just foam. They're just foam because my knees, when you live on your knees in a van, it can be a little brutal on little bony knees. So I just have this as my little kneeling pad right here when I have to reach in for something. And I just keep it right here. And then I have one at this door too that I keep right here. And then I can just kneel in here and reach over and get things that I need. And that just goes right here. So this is where I have my jammies and my jacket hanging on that little, this is that post I was telling you about right here. Just like the headboard. And right here I found a little spot for one of those bags, and that's where I keep my socks. One of those net bags. And then right here I found this little spot, and this was a camera bag that was just going in the trash. I cut all the straps off it because it was like a backpack. And this can be filled with anything, extra groceries, anything. But I just found this little spot right here, and it's far enough away from the vent here. And I just put a little hook up here to keep it in place like that. I could put extra food in there. If I was traveling somewhere that had the potential to be cold, this would be a good place to put, like, mittens and big fat socks and a hat and things like some little winter gear and stuff. So yeah. Also, I found some storage on the back of these doors. Just a little pocket right here and I was able to stuff in this. This is just some, this is bathing suits, a couple of bathing suits. So I just stuffed those right in there. And there's one on here, on this door too. So I just use these packing cubes, and I can put anything I want in them, in those two. This size packing cube is just perfect. This is like some extra jammies, different kinds of jammies. So I got bathing suits on that one, jammies on this one, and they just stuff right in there beautifully. See that? Also for storage, I have storage up here. Right over here is my first aid kit. Right here is my tin foil and my Ziploc bags. Right here is my tripods for YouTube. Right here is, this is the bag that has elastics, rope, zip ties, double-sided tape, safety pins, binder clips, bungee cords, glue, all kinds of stuff, elastics, paper clips, everything. And then I have an extension cord, a shorter one. I keep the big long one in that space under the floor that's hard to get to, but this is a shorter one. And this is my headlamp. I have a headlamp, and that's it. Headlamp, extension cord. Since I took the seat out and have the bed here, I don't have access to the glove compartment, so the glove compartment's empty. I had to sacrifice the glove compartment. But I do have this little cubby right here. I want to show you something that I keep in here. This is my ladder to get on the roof. You ready for this? If you haven't seen this, you're going to love it. If I want to go on the roof, if I want to clean my solar panels, if I want to check something up there, all I do is I take this, open it like this, and this little hook goes right here. Every door on a vehicle has one of these little hookies things. You hook it there, you put these, you adjust these so that it's level. Nope, that's not level. That's level. There, see that? Then I go like this. I'm up high. I can reach almost the other side of the solar panels. So I could come up here and clean them. I could do anything I needed to do up here. And then you just unhook it, close her up. There's my ladder. So over here is where I put my CO2 detector right there. And I put a little clock right there. It's just double sticky tape right up there. Hello. So I realized after I finished all that recording and I did all the editing, I realized a handful of things that I forgot. So I was going to put the same outfit on, and I was going to explain all the different things and plug them all in where it's appropriate, and you'd never even know. But guess what? I'm not an actress. So here I am, a different day, a different outfit. I even got new glasses since that recording. It's only been a few days ago, but I even got new eyewear. So I'm going to go over the things that I missed that I feel are important. So I mentioned the rear camera, but I very casually mentioned the rear camera, and I just thought I would give you a little bit more detail on that. So he installed the camera right here. It's right here. This is the camera, and you can move it up or down however you want. If I have it this way, I can see all the cars behind me. If I have it face down, it's going to show me where my bumper is. So that's really what I want. I don't need to see the cars behind me because I can see them in my rear mirrors, because the rear mirrors are set up so that you can really see a lot, because it is a vehicle with no windows. So it has those special mirrors that can really see a lot. So that I'm all set with. I need it facing down. I need to see where I'm backing up and how close I'm coming to things. So the way that I view this is over here. So right here on my rear view mirror, which I do not need a rear view mirror because there is nothing to see except inside my van. See how it just sits right on the rear view mirror, and you just face it towards you. Now, I will say one thing is that there is a glare. So if you're driving and you wanted to see cars behind you, it's really hard to see with glare. So I just find that when I use it just really for backing up. It's working really well for me. And this was installed, it was about $450 for the camera, all the wiring in the unit. So I also wanted to mention the miles per gallon that I get in this vehicle. All built out, carrying everything that I take with me, which is a lot of weight, but not really a lot of weight. There is wood, but not a lot of wood. I don't know what it weighs. I get anywhere between 30 and 31 miles a gallon, and that is amazing. I am very grateful for that. And another thing that I forgot to mention was this switch that I had installed on my dashboard. So I have this Bluetti, the Bluetti AC 200P. The same guy that did my rear view camera is the same guy that did this switch. He wired this up to my car battery. So, and it was a place that installs stereos in cars. Perfect. They know all the wiring in cars. He knew how to do this. He did a great job. So basically right here, I have this little switch. And when the switch is down, it's charging from the solar panels. When the switch is up, it's charging from the car battery. So when I'm driving long distances, I put it up and let the car battery charge the Bluetti. And whenever I'm stopped, I have to remember to turn this off, because if I don't turn this off, it will drain my battery. It hasn't happened yet. And then, so this is great. Now he charged me about $225 to do this wiring. So it's wired from the battery. It comes out to here. The cables for the solar panels are coming right through here, right up and through here, and they all meet right there. So that's that. The guy that put my solar panels on my roof, he also installed this fuse block right here, and he just screwed it right onto the underside of this table, and it has, a series of fuses that I can hook things up to. The two things that I have hardwired into this are the max air fan and my fridge, so I don't have to plug those in. So this very first plug on the Bluetti, it says DC output 12 volt 25 amps. This right here is plugged in. That's plugged into the fuse block. The fuse block is plugged into those two things. And I could put other things on it. I could put lights on it. I could put really anything that I wanted a switch for, but I don't need it. I'm all set with my lights and everything. So this Bluetti was maybe around $1,800, I think. The solar panels, I have the two 100-watt solar panels. They were about $100 a piece. The max air fan was about $250. It was important to me that that it would blow either way, intake or outtake the air, and also I wanted it to be rainproof. So not all of them are. So you want to look for those qualities. Then there's another one that the most expensive one is one that has all those. It goes in, out, it's rainproof, and it also works on remote. But you know something, I'm in 28 square feet. I really need a remote to turn that on. All I have to do is reach. Wherever I am, I just reach and I can turn it on. So I didn't need the remote. So just look for those details when if you're shopping for a max air fan, because you don't want to get one that when you have it open, rain comes in. You want to be able to have that open when it's raining, because you get ventilation in the rain, right? So so now he put the max air fan in, he put both solar panels in and this fuse block, and he charged me $600 for labor and $300 for materials, which was all this wiring, the block, the wires, the rails that he needed to put the put the solar panels on, all the hardware. There was like lots of hardware involved to get that installed properly. So that was the price on that. So many people have asked me what refrigerator I have, the fridge freezer that I use. So the brand is DOC. It works fine. I don't have anything to compare it to, so I don't know if it's one that I would recommend over another one because I don't know any other ones. But when I was shopping for it, I wanted the smallest one I could find because all I wanted to do was make ice with it. So I found this 9-quart. I couldn't find one smaller than 9-quart, which is actually perfect because 6 of those ice packs fit in here, and 6 seems to be the magic number. It does a great job cooling a 120-quart cooler. On Amazon, if I search for this, it doesn't show up anymore. So it's just not available, I guess. So I would say if you wanted to consider doing a system like this, just look for a 9-quart fridge freezer. I think Alpacool might make one. And just as long as you get the smallest one, and then you want to measure the inside, well, online you'll see the dimensions for the inside, and then just pick your ice packs accordingly. Like just check your measurements because they come in all kinds of sizes. You want to fit the most in there. But this one has been a champ. It's been working really well for me. So that's it. That's the tour of my camper van. I absolutely love it. I love the size of it. I love how it drives. I love how it looks. I love how it feels. Every single square inch of this build has been very, very carefully thought out. It's custom for me. I do it for me. Like, I don't know if this would work for you. I thought about getting a vehicle I could stand up in when my minivan was done. I was ready to get another vehicle. I can afford a high top. I can afford it. Um, I wanted small. I was hoping for small. I was hoping for a Promaster City or a Transit Connect or a Nissan NV200. I was hoping for one of those, but I was desperate to get a new van, so maybe I would have got a bigger, like maybe a medium roof or something, because it was hard to find something. But it was perfect because this is the size van I want to travel in. I feel very healthy. I feel I'm very agile. I can get around in here like a little monkey, and I can climb over things, and I can bend myself in half to get in the bed, and I can bend over and try to get stuff out of the fridge, and nothing feels aggravating to me because what I'm getting in exchange is this mobility to travel in this adorable little camper van that's just perfect for me. Everything in that I look at in here makes my heart sing. All the colors um, make my heart sing. All the patterns. Somebody might say too many patterns. Nope, not for Lulu. I do it Lulu's way. Um, if you want any more details on anything that I've shown in here, like the floor and making this and putting this together, um, everything really, the bed, everything. I have videos galore on my channel. Just look back and search and see whatever you'd like to know more about. Taking the passenger seat out, I have a video on that. Um, not actually doing it, but talking about that process and the difficulty I had finding people. But all the things in here, there's chances are there's a video on it. So, because I started a channel back in January. I don't travel full time in this. I travel part time in this, and I own a house in Massachusetts. As time moves on, I find myself uh, away more than home. It, as future plans are evolving, it I will be spending less and less time at home, more and more time traveling. Um, I transitioned from van life. I was still working, and I was building a van, and I was just using it on the weekends from time to time, or just trips in it, like on using my vacation time. But then I retired. I retired about 2.5 years ago, and so now my time has opened up. I've met a lot of van life friends along the way, and as you get friends, plans seem to keep coming up more often. They're not just plans that I come up with of things that I want to do, but they're plans that I'm invited to join. And so there's so many things to get involved in. So I find myself with much more travel plans than staying home. So uh, I thoroughly enjoy this. I loved doing the build. I loved when I used it for the first time and I did a long road trip and I came home and I had to tweak all the things that didn't work. So I just started making these little changes and then making a few more changes. So I'm always making changes, but the process of making this what it is was just so much fun. It's half the fun. The other half is using it, but it's just fun to build this out. It was fun. It was just a blast. I did have help. I'm pretty handy and I can do a lot of things myself, but I'm only so strong and I'm only so smart. So sometimes you got to call in people that have the knowledge and you have a couple of friends that you can run things by and you know but you know, like this right here, I built this. I knew I wanted the Berkey to be here and I knew it had to be this wide. I wanted it this high. I wanted to store this underneath. And so I just made that. But now I wasn't really sure how you'd put something like this together. So my friend was really into it and he helped me make this. So that was awesome. And so, yeah, you do what you can do. Ask for help for when you need help with the things you need help with. And it was just, this is it. This is my pride and joy, and this is the camper van that allows me to get out there and feel the freedom and feel adventurous, courageous, and joyful. So bye for now.